Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Anton, and I will lead today's webinar about sound settings of SmartPTT software. For those of you who are not familiar with our software, I will give a short description of what is SmartPTT. SmartPTT comes in two variants. SmartPTT Basic is a solution for small local radio networks where control station is used to dispatch the system. SmartPTT Enterprise allows dispatch and control over complex Motorola MOTOTRBO networks such as IP Site Connect, Capacity Plus, Link Capacity Plus, and Connect Plus. Dispatcher software gives opportunity to control and log the flow of data and voice in radio network, request location of subscribers, and monitor the state of repeaters. SmartPTT connects to MOTOTRBO networks directly via IP, including Capacity Plus and Link Capacity Plus over NAI for both voice and data transmission. Capacity Plus networks can also be monitored and logged via IP connection without NAI, but in this case, to have ability to send data into network and make calls, control stations are needed. Also, SmartPTT gives a set of software tools, such as web client and file transfer software, which increase radio network usability and functionality. SmartPTT has functionality that allows it to connect to PBX and give subscribers the ability to use PBX interconnection from radio network as well. Today's webinar will go as following. First part will give some information about hardware requirements and recommendations. Further, I will tell how to organize dispatcher workspace and how to configure the sound system up to your needs. Finally, I will tell about main issue sources and ways to resolve them. To use sound options, end user must have a soundboard installed on dispatcher PC and at least one sound channel per control station connected to the radio server. Please note that for most sound cards, two same cards in one PC are not going to work properly. It is a limitation of Windows operation system. SmartPTT supports independent access for left and right channels of stereo device. That gives ability to connect two control stations to PC even with standard stereo microphone and input and speakers output. Also, it means that any stereo input-output on any sound card could be used for two control stations. SmartPTT supports ASIO drivers for sound cards as well. It is recommended to use professional microphones with noise cancellation. Musical studio microphones are not acceptable for dispatch as they try to pick as much noise as possible. Microphones adjusted for voice recognition work good for dispatching as well. SmartPTT has an integrated support for Motorola accessories, equipment from Introdex and T-Pro. T-Pro equipment can be used without a console as a standalone device. Virtually any device that supports direct input can be used as external hotkey and PTT. Here is a list of equipment tested with SmartPTT for compliance. Please note that Delta 10/10LT soundboard is discontinued. However, it is still available in some shops. To connect a set of control stations to radio server, you will need a multi-channel soundboard installed in radio server PC. It is not possible to use two similar soundboards simultaneously. Next slides will describe common problems with organizing dispatcher's workspace. Here you can see incorrect dispatcher workplace organization. Dispatcher is not speaking to the microphone. Instead, his microphone is beside him, and his voice is not directed to the microphone. However, sound from speaker is going right into the microphone, causing only echo to be heard by radio users when dispatcher is trying to say something. Here is an example of correct organization. Speakers are moved towards dispatcher and are not heard by microphone anymore. Dispatcher is speaking directly into the microphone. Sound from speakers can still be heard behind the dispatcher's voice. However, dispatcher will be heard incomparably better. In case if workplace cannot be organized in the way which will exclude echo, it is recommended to use a headset. We could suggest to use wireless headsets for dispatchers if they don't want to deal with wires. Commonly, wireless headsets are using Bluetooth technology. It will cause slight degradation of sound quality. However, it is possible to find professional-level wireless headsets, which use a set of radio channels to transmit sound. In case of multi-dispatcher environment, some additional restrictions must be taken into account. Situation when speakers of one dispatcher are heard by another dispatcher's microphone must be avoided in all possible ways. Dispatchers should not sit back to back. The best option is side by side, with some free space between them. Dispatchers sitting face to face across their tables is also an option. Next part of webinar is considered with audio settings within the software. SmartPTT will allow user to select different sound output devices to be used for different sound sources within radio network. It means, for example, that sound from one group can go through left speaker when sound from other group goes through the right one. Using the Add button, you can create a list of presets to be used as output devices. After that, you can specify which sound source will use which sound preset. Inherited means it will use the settings as specified for parent device. For groups and subscribers, parent device are channels. For channels, parent devices are radio servers. When setting up the dispatcher, you will need to set up the sound devices to be used for sound interface. Also, you can select which codec to use for voice transfer over IP connection between radio server and dispatcher. It will affect overlay quality of sound transmitted both ways. Each codec is different in quality and bandwidth usage. If your network will not allow you to transmit all needed voice information, it may become corrupted, delayed, or broken. If your bandwidth is limited, you may decide to use lower quality codec, which will allow you to use less bandwidth. When selecting the codec, you will be able to see a bandwidth that is going to be used by this codec in brackets near the quality settings. If you are experiencing issues with sound quality due to low bandwidth, try to use lower requirement codec. All voice calls can be recorded and stored in MP3 format on the hard disk. Recording quality settings allow you to decide how much bandwidth you are going to use for voice storage per second. So, how much hard disk space you are going to use for this. It is possible to change volume of recording for dispatcher voice. If you think that dispatcher is too quiet on recordings, just increase the level for outgoing calls. If you are going to move the audio storage somewhere, including network storages, you can specify the path to previous records in the list at the bottom. It will allow dispatcher to use click and play feature from event log even when records are actually stored in a separate folders. Also, you can specify truncation parameters to automatically delete records that are older than specified age. It will allow you to keep audio records in some specific size limits. The sound panel is a specific view within SmartPTT interface made specifically to simplify sound control in the system. You can mute and unmute channels here with one click. You can mute groups on specific channels as well. It is also possible to set different volume levels for different channels. While muted, group will follow the parameter set on advanced sound settings. It is smart mute or full mute. When full muted or simple muted, dispatcher will not hear the transmissions from this group. But when smart muted, dispatcher will hear the transmissions which are private calls to the dispatcher from the muted channel. It means we can organize a system where dispatcher will not hear any transmissions from the channel except the transmissions that are private calls to this dispatcher. There is an option to increase a sound level for selected subscriber. In this specific case, if two subscribers, Chris and Boris, make calls simultaneously, dispatcher will hear both of them. As long as Boris is selected in subscriber tree, sound from Boris will be enhanced and played twice as loud as sound from Chris. Dispatcher can use selection to listen for specific calls when there is more than one. Following slides are describing common sources of sound issues. First two possible sources are noise suppression and echo cancellation options. Sometimes usage of these options leads to decrement of signal-to-noise ratio, making sound unrecognizable, corrupting the quality. If you experience problems with sound quality, check if these options are disabled. Next issue source is microphone overload. It might be caused by microphone boost enabled or too high gain value from microphone. It is not recommended to use microphone boost in any case, because it is making microphone catch more noise than always, causing the sound to clip and corrupt. If you hear dispatcher with some buzzing noises over specific letters in speech, or sound from dispatcher is getting better when dispatcher is not speaking directly to microphone, decrease microphone gain. If you cannot hear anything on the dispatcher, or radio subscribers cannot hear dispatcher, check if equipment you use is working properly. Stop SmartPTT and check the speakers and microphone using embedded Windows test system. If the equipment is not working in Windows operation system properly, there is no way for SmartPTT to use it in correct way. Some additional software can cause sound modification or corruption. Please check if firewalls allow you to transfer sound data over specified network interfaces and ports. 18,500 and 18,501 are default ports for SmartPTT to use voice traffic. Sometimes outdated sound driver may cause sound corruption. Please check if you have latest drivers for your sound board installed. There are some specific sound driver settings which can lead to sound issues. Please check that all special options for sound control are disabled, especially voice modification, pitch control, and advanced software sound quality control options like environments. Visit our website smartptt.com to find out more information about SmartPTT software. Follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel, user SmartPTT. If you have any questions, feel free to send email to us on info@smartptt.com or submit your request via submit form on support portal support.smartptt.com. Thank you for your attention.